Hey guys, it's time for another top 10, and I'm sure you're as excited for this one as I am. The last time we tackled this series, we had ourselves spooky ghost types to talk about, but this time, we're more so in my domain, the dark types. I know, it's really shocking to see them come after the ghost types. This list is one I took a lot of time to look over, and I think for the most part, it's unbiased and completely in line with modern day competitive Pokemon. I'll spoil it right now, there's no Umbreon on this list. It pained me a lot to be faced with that reality when putting this list together, but it's alright. There are still 10 great Pokemon to talk about, so let's not waste any more time with this intro. It's list time. Before that though, if you haven't already, head over to my new What If / fanfic channel where I read anime fanfics. If that's up your alley, then consider heading over there. Link will be in the description below. Starting us off, we've got a Galarian Pokemon here. This one is Obstagoon. This Kiss wannabe is dominant thanks to its two abilities, being Defiant and Guts. You guys know what makes Guts so good, especially when paired with the Flame Orb. It'll enhance a nice 90 base attack stat that pairs well with some of its other stats. As for Defiant, you'll want to run that ability if you're deciding to run a Choice Scarf to bolster your Obstagoon's speed. Now, being a dark normal type isn't the most ideal combo for defensive purposes, but it does give you some very nice stab moves. Knockoff, Facade, and Throat Chop are all gonna make Obstagoon stupid strong on the battlefield, and its coverage, including close combat and Seed Bomb, is just great to see. You might even be able to use Taunt for some real wrench throwing into opposing teams. So go ahead and use Obstagoon. It's for sure a top 10 option in both of its typings, and just kicks ass when given the opportunity. Next up, we've got Mandibuzz, one of the best defensive Pokemon at the lower tiers in Sword and Shield. Mandibuzz's defenses are 105 physical and 95 special, and with a typing like Flying Dark, that works out really nice. Its Overcoat ability is the best of its three, and gives it protection from the weather and moves like Spore, so it becomes a great candidate to switch in on something like Amoonguss. It's a defog user, so you can expect to constantly remove hazards from the battlefield. And with heavy duty boots as an option to throw on, you'll never have to worry about switching in on some stealth rocks either. Its attacking moves include Foul Play and Knockoff with U-turn there for pivoting. You've even got viable recovery in Roost. What's not to love? It may not be the top option once you get to the OU tier, but one great thing when used up there is its ability to check Dragapult. So that's a great thing we can say about Mandibuzz. This bird could have gotten a bit of a higher spot on this list, but I think it speaks volumes for the quality of the dark type that it's only here today. So Krookodile shows up next on the list. So dominant and cool. I'm honestly sort of surprised it didn't even make the top 5. But there are a couple of flaws. We'll focus on the good stuff here though, starting with its Moxie ability, working alongside a Choice Scarf. Its base 117 attack stat, getting a bump with every Pokemon it knocks out? Well, when speed is no longer an issue, it's going to be crushing opponents. Its moveset has everything from Crunch to Earthquake when it comes to stab, with complementary moves like Knockoff, Taunt, and Stealth Rocks, which can offer some real utility. The ground dark typing is just so good offensively, and if you want to focus on a more defensive-minded Crook, the Intimidate ability is going to help you do that for sure. The big issues for Croc though are its lack of defenses, and the fact that it'll really need to rely on the Choice Scarf to spend any sort of substantial time on the battlefield. It might be really strong with sky-high potential, but those issues were enough to have me hold it back this time around. Even then, Shades is yet another great addition to this list. it's time for a little bit of pseudo flair here on the list. We're gonna talk about Hydreigon. This thing has got a duo of great attack stats, pretty decent speed, and some real potential in its defenses. If you look at Hydreigon and think, wow, I want this to be a utility option for me, then you've got some options. Give it Defog and Taunt and watch it work its magic. Though that's not the most fun thing you can do with the Hydreigon. No, you want to either give it a Choice Scarf to make it super speedy, or just run Nasty Plot so that its special attack becomes devastating. Its move pool has all the coverage you could ever want, and then some hard-hitting stab with Draco Meteor and Dark Pulse. Like, Hydreigon is for real a scary attacker that can bring the pain, but it has a few drawbacks. Despite the usable defenses it has, it's still at the mercy of fairy types. And of course, relying on setting up can be a risk from time to time. Though, like I thought with Krookodile, I'm surprised Hydreigon isn't a top 5 option either. There really are some great dark types in the Sword and Shield meta. We're gonna close out the first half of the list with Crawdaunt. Who would have thought it would have been good enough to overcome Pokemon like Hydreigon and Krookodile? I know I didn't think it was possible until I did my research. However, Crawdaunt's adaptability when paired with a Choice Band or Swords Dance actually makes it such a lethal attacker that it can be a real team killer, especially in BDSP's OU scene. Like, its Crabhammer and knockoff combo with Aqua Jet is pretty much all you need alongside Swords Dance to score many KOs in battle. That's why it has such a high attack stat after all, so it can do things like set up and knock down. It does have weaknesses to some good typings, and it still does need to overcome a poor speed stat. But despite not cracking the top 5, you still gotta give it up to this crustacean. It's pretty good. Let's get this top 5 kicked off with Bisharp, the Sword Blade Pokemon. This knight has got 125 base attack, the ability Defiant, and a desire to cut down the competition and bring home a dub. If your opponent sets up sticky webs, they're gonna have an awful time as you can switch in Bisharp, drop its speed, and watch its attack stat go high. The moment it pulls out a Sucker Punch, it won't matter that it's been slowed down. You'll just be one-hitting everything so long as it's not resisting the dark type. You're also able to set up with Swords Dance, turn to Iron Head and Knockoff, and bring just as much pain as you would if you got your speed lowered and Defiant kicked in. If you want a revenge killer that you actually want to see have its speed lowered, look no further than Bisharp. It's just really damn good as a dominant dark type. Grimmsnarl is coming up next on the list. Surprisingly enough, having a few Pokemon ahead of it. I'd say that's surprising because Grimmsnarl is really good. Its Dark Fairy typing is great defensively, and its attack stat is super great. Though perhaps as a support Pokemon, Grimmsnarl can really live up to its full potential as a prankster Pokemon. It's able to pull out the screens and doubles, which will help your team's defenses, and then it can taunt in an attempt to screw up opposing attackers. Want to cripple the speed of opposing Pokemon? Go ahead and use Thunder Wave and Scary Face to paralyze, and watch Grimmsnarl seemingly zoom around. If you want to use it as an attacker though, give Spirit Break and Darkest Lariat a look. I think Grimmsnarl really works best as a support Pokemon, especially in doubles, but it all comes down to how you use it. The Pokemon we have taking the 3rd place trophy of the video is the wannabe kaiju, Tyranitar. When you throw this thing in the singles, it becomes a top tier sand setter with the option to throw one of many items on it like a band, a berry, a vest, perhaps even a zoom lens. Okay, that last one isn't really relevant. I just felt like I needed to bring up a 4th item. Anyway, it's a bulky mon with a pretty decent set of defensive typings, and then 100 plus in both of its defensive stats. As an attacker, it has base 134 attack too, but all that can be improved with Dragon Dance. It can even take its turn as a great lead if you're using it with Stealth Rocks. Its potential attacks include Stone Edge, Crunch, and Earthquake. Can you really ask for more? T-Tar is getting its flowers today, even if there are some dark types that are better. The penultimate Pokemon on the list today is Incineroar. It was featured in the top 5 on the fire type list, and just like then, we've got to bring up that it's potentially the best Pokemon in all of doubles. All it needed was the Intimidate ability, and it suddenly became top tier. Like, seriously, if you stick this on anyone's team in the VGC format, there's gonna be a place for it, even if the rain is coming down. It succeeds using moves like Fake Out and Parting Shot as its main reason for being in battle. That's crazy to see out a starter Pokemon like this, and whether you're using Flare Blitz to do massive damage or having it taunt, you're bound to screw up an opposing team one way or another. Go ahead and pivot out with U-Turn, or perhaps just go Swords Dance and Scorch the Earth. There are a ton of great things Incineroar can do with its decent bulk and strong attack stat, with the only thing counting as a strike against it being the speed. If it weren't for the Pokemon we were about to talk about, Incineroar would have had no issue taking the top spot. That's how big the gap is between these final two and the rest of the list. Here we go. The number 1 spot. A Pokemon so good, it was able to sit down Incineroar. We've got Weavile coming in the top spot today. Potentially one of the top 10 Pokemon in BDSP and Sword and Shield OU. You can throw Swords Dance on it, or throw a Choice Band on the thing, and bang. Nobody is handling its Dark and Ice type moves properly. Give it Triple Axle, give it Knockoff, even give it Ice Shard for some priority. Not like you're desperate for priority. The thing's got base 125 speed. It's already outspeeding plenty. If you choose to go heavy duty boots and set up, you're going to have a tremendous time with that speed. That's it. It's just the best. You guys have used Weavile before, probably been clapped by one in the past. It's more than deserving of its spot on the list, and it'll definitely be there when we do the ice types. Alright guys, that does it for another video in this series. The Dark typing has many great Pokemon, and this wasn't entirely easy to put together, but it was very easy to explain because the Dark typing is just so obviously good. Let me know what you thought about the list and what typing I should do next. With that said, I'll see you all next time. Welcome back to the outro, folks, your favorite part of the video. Thank you for enjoying another Mystic Umbreon video. We made it through the end of the 8th generation, and now we begin the long trek into late 2022 where Pokemon Scarlet and Violet await us. It's a whole new world we'll live in, but we still gotta catch them all. However, there's still a ton of videos to do and experiences to have until then. If you're interested in more Mystic content, check out my TikTok and the Mystic Umbreon Shorts YouTube channel. If we get the 10K followers on TikTok, I'll be doing a viewer's choice video. If you like Genshin Impact, check out my Genshin channel Tevachinary. So if you all enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. See you next time.